Yo, can I not forget was Zelmae, your boy Laugh for Zelmae Wit.
Bree Danielle.
And we got another episode of Purpose, episode 9. We 9 weeks in, Brie.
Yes, sir.
Week 9. Today we're talking about relationships. We got a good topic today. Relationships, when to end and when to mend. Bree, talk to him.
So listen, we all have been in a relationship or situation or whatever y'all call it, situationship, whatever, where we
Entanglement.
get to the entanglements, okay? Uh country marriages, whatever you want to call them. Where we have been at a crossroads where we have to decide, is it worth like fighting for? Like, do we keep going or do we just call it quits? Now, this is not just, of course, when we talk about purpose, we talk about, being your full self, being your whole self. So this doesn't just allude to relational relationships. And when I say relational relationships, I mean like sexual relationships with a partner. It can be a platonic relationship, it can be a business relationship, it can be the relationship you have with your job, family relationships, any type of interaction, human interaction that you have, person to person, okay? Or person to organization or whatever, any type of relationship. So, how do you know? I'm clapping again because I'm hyped. How do you know when it's time to let it go or if it's really worth fighting for? Um, I always tell y'all that this is like for me, like what I do. You really just have to weigh out the pros and cons. Now, if you're a visual person, it actually takes writing that out. There's nothing wrong with writing out like the pros of the relationship or the job or whatever with the cons of it. And sometimes it's just that simple. It's as simple as these are my pros, these are my cons outweigh my pros. Even if you have more pros than cons, if the cons are way worse than your pros, then you know, okay, this might be affecting me as a person, or taking too much away from me, and I need to let it go. Because in any type of relationship that you have, the benefit should be mutual. Now we know sometimes that one person gives more than the other. Um, but at some point, it should balance itself out. You shouldn't always be the one that's not benefiting from the relationship, or the job or the business partnership or whatever. So sometimes it's just as simple as making a pro and con list to know I can stay in this and I can work it out, or okay, I need to call it quits. Um, for some people, they actually have to just go to the end of it. So a lot of times people can talk through those issues. If you're a person that communicates well, you can go. I don't know if you can go to your organization, but I'm sure you can go to your supervisor, or you can go to the person that you're in a relationship with to be like, hey, these are my issues, and I'm kind of at a crossroads on whether or not this is really worth it. Because I'm not getting as much benefit, and it's starting to take a toll on me as a person. Um, so that's always an option, but you always have to, you can't just keep going. You can't, if you know that a relationship needs a shift, because that's why you're at the crossroads. You've gotten to a point where you feel like, I don't know if this is worth it or should I keep going. It's because it needs to be shifted. There needs to be some things that need to be addressed. There needs to be some behavioral changes, some conversations that need to be had. And so, whenever you're there, you can't just ignore the signs. You can't ignore the fact that there's an issue that you can no longer just push down or sweep under the rug. And if you do that, you start to kind of lose yourself. You start to change and adapt to the situation just to suffer through it, but really you're miserable. And then you look up one day and you're a completely different person because you didn't address the issue when it first happened.
Yeah.
So, Trevor, what do you think? Do you think that all relationships are mendable? Do you think that people end relationships too soon because they don't know how to communicate it or don't know how to process? What do you think about it?
So when you to end or to mend it, like you said, you have to go through the pros and cons. Sometimes you can communicate it through. Sometimes the other party doesn't know. I often shoot people bail. I call it shooting people bail on ignorance. As we stated one time before, your parents, for instance, people like you don't like you're upset that they don't know everything, so you often get
Mm-hmm.
upset. But you can't force someone to know something they don't know. It's the same thing with older generations in African American communities in therapy. They wasn't educated till really started getting educated to the 60s or 70s. So if they don't know about something, they can't. It might be scary or something wrong with it because they don't know what it is. People often fear what they don't know. So,
Exactly.
so often some people in a business relationship, in a relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, husband, oftentimes the other person assume you're not complaining about it, so it must be good. So sometimes you can't mend it because you're not communicating to try to fix it. You often should try to fix things because it's often cheaper to try to fix something before you decide to just go with something new. Sometimes you have insurance, sometimes you have warranty that's on products, and sometimes it's your job. Sometimes your boss thinks you're happy, and he just like, oh, she's happy with what they get, so we're going. But if you communicate to them effectively, I'm not happy. Maybe like, hey, you're a good employee. I treasure you. I value you. So let's work this out. And if not, you can end it. And then in some cases, people just don't care anyway. So, but you got to be able to
You
place
got to be
it.
able to recognize that too.
Yeah, you can tell when somebody kind of. Well, sometimes you can tell when somebody kind of don't care about your feelings, and sometimes when somebody do, but they don't. But it might seem like they don't because you're not expressing it to them. Like I know one problem I notice a lot of men have with females in their life is that they often feel like you supposed to know what they want, and then
You're supposed to read my mind.
yeah, and males are like, what?
Like that don't even make sense. You're supposed to read my mind. Period.
Yes, you know me. We're dating now. You're supposed to know what I want when I want it, and I'm like, how was I
And
supposed to
how I
know
want it. And
you?
you're supposed to know it before I know it. You're supposed to know what I want before I know what I want.
It's like sometimes you get that dating trap where you order for me, and I'm like, I don't know what you feel like eating today. Or that trap. This is my favorite one. I don't know what I want to eat, so you choose. And if you choose wrong, you hate every order I pick. And I like, what?
Pause. Let's just talk about that for 1 second because I'm a dead it for everybody. Okay. It's not that we don't know what we want, but what we want is so difficult sometimes that we would rather just say we don't know. Because I want fries from Chick-fil-A. I want my 10-piece wing from Wingstop. I want a milkshake from this other place. I want to go get something else. And that's why we just say, I don't know.
So, so I'm okay. So I'm gonna guess it.
So now, whenever you hear a woman say she don't know, Trevor, just say if you want to get something from different places, that's okay. You have to make her feel like that's okay. Cause I really know what I want. It's just I want it from three different places, and that's time consuming. So
Yeah, but explain that. Just say
I'm just telling
that.
you,
Just
I'm just
say
telling
it.
you that it's not that we don't know. We know exactly what we want. We just know that it's way difficult, so we just rather say, I don't know, just figure something out.
So when y'all say, "Hey, if you just want sex," say that. Just know it's difficult.
That's not the
No,
same.
it's
It's
difficult.
definitely not
It's
the same.
maybe I will like you later on. I have too
Now
many
listen,
emotions right now.
you really have to, man, you really got to play that well because some people, like if you're me, I want you to be honest about what you want up front. Don't play me or run game on me because once you do that, then I'm gonna get. I got this thing in me called get back. So I'm going to get you back. So just be upfront about it. Okay. So I tell the women because at the end of the day, even if that's what you want, people can respect you. They might not like you. She might not ever talk to you again. And
Right.
that's her business. but she'll respect you because you were honest with her and you didn't string her along knowing that that's all you wanted from the beginning.
See, we trying to end. See, we ending everything. We discussing it. We got to put it out there so we can end it. We learned
When
about
do you
what
know
they
when
mean. See, we know what it mean when they say they don't know what they want to eat.
we're trying to help y'all. We're
See,
trying to help y'all. But that's an easy way to know to end it because just I want y'all to be honest with people. I don't want y'all to be running game on nobody. And if you don't know, if you're unsure, say that. Like, you know what? I don't know if I like you right now. But I would like to see where this goes, or nah, I'm a chill. Don't I mean I can't like say don't ghost her because I am Casper. Okay. But in perfect world, we would want you to be honest with people and be like, this, I'm not feeling this ain't it. Let's just go ahead and end it and not draw it out.
that's true. That's where you figure stuff out, man. Sometimes that being truthful can often help in the process of knowing the end of men. Because if both of y'all lying, you gonna have a problem.
If y'all both of y'all lying, it'll never end. And but it'll take. I'm not gonna say it'll never end. It takes longer for it to end. And once it does end, it'll be so bad, like it just blows up because the truth starts to come out way later because you didn't have to lie and then put another lie on top of that lie, and then you didn't have to hide your feelings and you didn't have to sneak around and do other things. So really, that's if you want to know how when to mend or end, be honest. Be
Yes.
truthful,
Same with you.
and then you'll know which way to go.
Same with your job too. Don't lie. If you unhappy, but you when they ask you on the review sheet every at the end of the year, are you happy? But not really.
Not really. Like,
I'm
and it's you have to be honest, like
uh,
because because if those people are unhappy with you, they're going to get rid of you with the quickness and they're going to replace you. So why would you not be honest with them about your happiness and your place at that job? Business partners, if you are unhappy with the business and the way that it's going, you will save a lot of money if you go ahead and be honest and decide if y'all can shift the business or mend the relationship that y'all have as business partners or just cut the ties and move on.
friendships too, to be honest with you. And by the way, I don't think a lot of people get this, and I think it causes a lot of mental health problems too. It's okay that you and your high school friends don't talk.
Listen, it
It's
is
over.
completely okay.
Yeah.
Me and my high school friends are still we're still really close, like, but not as close as like we talk every day. I still love them with all my heart. When we get together, it's a great time. But some of them I don't talk to. Like some of the people that I like were my friends from eighth grade up until like mid college years. I don't talk to them now, and we just have to learn that as we grow and as we get older, we change, we evolve as people, and sometimes that doesn't align with the other person. That don't mean we beefing or I don't like you. It's just that we're in two different phases in life, and those just don't mesh.
Yeah, we outgrew each other. Your interests in high school, we had central interests, sports, class,
Yes,
jokes. Somebody matured a little faster in certain ways.
it
Somebody
was just
matured,
our little bubble.
yeah.
Yeah, it was a bubble.
And then we got out in the real world, and somebody went into this aspect of their life. Maybe somebody went to computers, and now they're interested in computers. Where in high school you didn't care about computers because y'all both was athletes or sports people, so that's what you had in common. But I don't care about sports now as much as I did, and you care about sports a lot still because you're a coach. We're not probably gonna
Hmm.
hang out with each other if I'm into computers and stuff, and you into coaching because we
We
don't.
don't care. We're not compatible.
Yeah, like we can be cool, and I every once a year I hit you up. Hey, let's go
Happy
eat. You
birthday.
know what I'm saying? Happy birthday. Let's go eat one day because to catch up on how you been, the family been, all that. I'm telling this because I'm almost 30, so you get this how you get. That's how me and my friends do it.
Oh, he's old, guys. He's old.
Yeah, yeah. You gotta remember. Yeah, Bree didn't know I'm old young Jesus song, but we could. She like, I don't
I
know this
really
song.
did.
I'm like,
I
this thug
really did. I was
motivation.
like, listen, Thug Motivation 101. No. By the time he got to 102, 103, I was there. I was there. I was with him. I was like, this me. Okay? Period. I know all the words. But I was like, oh my God, how old was I?
Yeah,
Okay, anyway,
that was me in high
them
school,
goals.
and when I was playing football, that was what I played before. A game, we
Yeah,
lit.
no.
And you were probably in what,
Yeah,
sixth grade then?
I was.
Yeah,
I was
so
a chap.
but yeah. So Bree ain't that far behind me because I said that I was in ninth grade, she was six. But
Woo.
but yeah. Like we in two different realms now. Bree might be in the real estate and she like to talk about houses and her old friend don't care about houses. She might still be in a party phase. She might still be in another phase in her life. She might be into shoes and Bree don't care about shoes. We don't have much to talk about.
Yes, and compatibility is very important on all levels of relationship. Whether you're looking for a girlfriend, a boyfriend, a best friend, a business partner, you all have to be compatible. Like compatibility is very important to be able to build relate effective and efficient relationships.
Yeah, so when someone it's okay. So I'm telling you, it's okay if your friend hasn't called you and you missed them. I don't know what to tell you. uh,
Call them if they don't answer,
yeah,
move on.
yeah. I don't know what to tell you because they obviously their interest has went somewhere else. Most of the times
Yes.
in life, that's why you should always try to conduct relationships, even if you're antisocial. You should try to get out your box a little bit, find people that in with your interest. Your interest might change. You might become an activist. You should go to events with activists. That way, you have people that you are in the same community with.
Yes, yes. And when you're building relationships, it's also good to be able to I call it like study them. But I do a lot of different like surveys or like questionnaires or like self-assessments with my friends to know their love languages, to know how they like to be apologized to, to know, their personality types. Because once you know those things, and it's just kind of like a niche for me to be able to know that, so to know how to maneuver. Even if you want to know their astrology sign, you'll be able to gauge the type of person they are, or the things that they like and they don't like, how they like to be talked to each other. You can do a quiz on communication style so that you're able to be the best friend to that person based on their personality and not just the way you think that it should be.
Yeah, if you're not into studying, you might not want to. If you don't want to take questionnaires, you might not want to be friends with Bree.
You don't, because I'm gonna send it to you. Whether we're business partners or dating, I be sitting on, hey, y'all got this self-assessment, y'all can do it so we can do it and we can share it and we can talk about it. And you don't want to do that, we can't be friends. Cause I like to know all parts about my friends. Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, it's about compatibility, and that's when you know if you have completely ruined your compatibility and there's nothing there, it's probably time to end.
And you always know, when it's time to end. Like there is, don't ignore the signs because they're there. And sometimes it's like right in your face. And it's just a really, really strong feeling of like, okay, this is the end of this. And if you just take that feeling and communicate with that person, like, we've had a great time, but I think this is the end. I think it ends much better than if you were to drag it along and then y'all just ghost each other or y'all get into this really, really huge fight that could have all been solved because y'all recognize that this was kind of over.
Yeah, and that's not just for. I know a lot of people like this is women, men. You need to learn how to end relationships too because y'all be in some toxic relationships and then you stay in there too long. Then the problem with men is though they get real comfortable in a relationship because it's probably the opposite for women. Like it don't even be like I don't want this to end because I want to hold on to it. It's like I don't I don't know if I still got it in dating anymore.
I don't want to start over, so I'm
Yeah,
gonna just stay here
yeah. So I'm
and
just
ruin
gonna
her
be.
life.
Well, she
Come
might be. In
on.
one case, I know she good and like she doing her own thing. You know what I'm saying? But he's sitting there like I just don't want to. Like I'm miserable. She ain't, but I'm miserable. That's one case I know. But and I'm just sitting here because I don't want to start over. I done got older.
I don't want to start over.
I've been in here 10 years. We've been dating for 10 years. I
Why do
don't.
you think people are so afraid to start over though? Like, what is it about starting over that is so terrifying that you would rather stay in like a miserable situation?
After 10 years, you do what you talked about, and you learn them so much. do I feel like learning another person? I know what she like to eat. I know what shows she like. I know what time she leave. I know what time she do something. Or the same thing with a woman. I know what he likes. I know it's a comfortability thing.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I'm miserable, I'm comfortable. Like I don't have to come out of my bubble. That's the problem with a lot of people. They don't have to want to come out their bubble.
Yeah.
It's the same thing when I started learning about other religions and cultures and stuff. Everybody else, in the black community, if you study anything else or in religion, you study any other religion, people like the devil's book. Like when I read the Quran, I'm like, this is almost the Bible. It's almost
This is very similar.
This is the same book. It just added some at the end. It added one guy at the end. But everything, even all the way through Jesus' part, was like the same. Like, it's almost the same book. Except for they hold stricter to the Old Testament than Christians hold on to the Newer Testament and stuff like that. Like what they don't eat, what they eat. Because, in the Old Testament, it's a sin to eat pork or something, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then, so they hold more to that. Christians don't care nothing about that. So.
No. Jesus came and forgave us.
Yeah,
about to eat this pig.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So it's like, so that's like they hold on to that more, just like Jewish people hold on to that, but Christians don't. But all three books are almost similar, except for one don't care about one part, the other care about this part and this part, but added something at the end. And you start learning stuff, and it's the same. And when you do that, sometimes you realize that a lot of stuff you've been conditioned to learn, and you comfortable with too. That's it too. Comfortability. So you stick in that same zone.
Yeah. Content. Like, can I stay there?
Even if you're miserable, like the same thing we talked about therapy. Older people still won't go to therapy. Why? Because it's out of their comfort zone.
Right.
Yeah, y'all need to work this out. But nope.
Yep. In the next episode, we're gonna talk about how to get into your comfort zone, because y'all not walking in y'all purpose, sitting in your comfort zone, and you're miserable. That ain't it.
Oh, I actually saw something about that too that we can get into next week. By the way, that will probably be in the Purpose Overtime. What I'm gonna talk about, Bree, gonna be the main show, but we can do Purpose Overtime from now. So hit that like button, hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button. Yeah, so today we're going to overtime. YouTube will see it, the overtimes first. They will see one probably tomorrow, actually. And then they will see one probably Tuesday. So yeah, be ready for that. And then What's New 99 will be later on Monday. Both of them, the sports and entertainment, because me and Joe is not filming tonight. So that will be Monday instead. So you get to see Bree. Well, you'll see Bree before this comes out on Monday, because we record this the same time.
If you see me in the same clothes, mind your business.
It's true. By the way, me saying that, I realize people gonna be confused because this part coming out Wednesday.
Yeah, they'd be like, "Oh, we already."
Didn't you tell me tomorrow? But that's Thursday. Yeah, so if you see this on Wednesday, we filmed it Sunday. We filmed it this last Sunday, so go back and watch.
Yes.
And we got some good topics on that too. But yes, comfortability, and that's why people don't end or mend. So.
Because you get complacent and you think that this is where you're supposed to be because you've been here so long. But that's not it. Okay? You need to have real hard conversations with yourself, with the person that you're in a relationship with. If you have counsel, like if you have a mentor or, somebody that you go to that has sound counsel. I'm not talking about your friends that tell you to cut their tires and, sound counsel, people that can help you make wise decisions. Go to those people. Talk through these things. If you go to therapy, which at this point, somebody should have been in therapy by now, but looking from past. If you're in therapy, talk to your therapist about it. They'll give you tools and ways to walk through the process. Because you got to do it. I mean, either you're going to do it or you're going to let it happen to you. So you might as well do it.
Yes, you gotta.
It's gonna happen anyway.
Yeah, you gotta create a threshold too in a lot of stuff. Like in my mind, I got a mental threshold. like we talked about on the previous episodes of Purpose. Go watch them. We got 8 of them. What we talk about. I know this the point where I'm not gonna take it. I'm not. You're not gonna yell at me. Like
boundaries.
Yeah, our boundaries. You have a certain threshold. Like, hey, you're not gonna talk to me like that. You're not gonna treat me like that. Certain things I'm not gonna take. By the way, some of y'all goals are a little heftier than others, and I think it's kind of okay, but it's kind of not because it's unrealistic. But we're gonna talk about that. Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that a little later in overtime. So be there for overtime. It will be out Monday, and if you're listening to Purpose, it will be out. Well, it'll be out Monday on YouTube, but it'll be out after this on Wednesday on this show. So it's gonna be right after this. You don't have to go look for it or nothing. It'll be right after this. We doing something new. We're gonna try to give you a longer audio podcast and cut the other parts up. So that's the good thing about it. So you get more content from Bree. I know y'all miss. Y'all 30 minutes of Bree, that's it?
And even if you don't, it doesn't matter. Yep, that's it. Period. Pay me if you want more. Okay, pay us. Big dot.
There's a join button right below the screen. So hit that join button. Join it. Be a member of be a Big Alpha. But yeah.
Yes, Big Alpha.
Yeah, so. But yeah, it's mostly. You just got to figure out what you want in life. Do the pros and cons. Find your boundaries. Make your pros and cons. Communicate. And then if all that doesn't go the way you want, you got to end it.
You have to. And you can't lose yourself in the relationship because we all have dreams and goals of what we want to be individually. But it's also important to make those goals of what you want to see out of your relationship. So that when you go into your relationship, you don't get lost in everything that happens between the two of you, or you don't get lost in their goals and their aspirations without making yours known. Because then again, you lose yourself and you're not walking in your purpose as an individual. Because even though you are in a relationship, I don't care if you're married, situation, whatever, you're still an individual and you still have a purpose, an individual purpose to meet, before you leave here.
Yeah, man. Make sure you get your purpose. I'm not going to do the full ending now, but we're going to end this one and we're going to overtime. So to the YouTube viewership, I would like to thank you for listening. Remember to keep stomping. Something amazing might happen. And if you haven't listened to the overtime, like I said, it'll be out Sunday and Tuesday. Both the topics, they're a little shorter. They're like 10 to 15 minutes. We're not going to stay on as long. Purpose is the main show. This is just overtime. We got 2 topics, 10 to 15 minutes. So go back if you're on YouTube, listen to those Sunday and Monday. If you're on podcast sites, they will come right after this. So thank you for staying and listening to me and Bree a little longer. So, peace.
Fly right past up and running it